Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel that knows nothing. I am Gem, and let's get to it. So today we are doing something I thought would be kind of fun. I like making lists. Lists are fun for me, so that's why I'm doing a bunch of them at the moment. Plus, not that I'm locked down really, but there are like restrictions in place, so I'm pretty bored, so that's why there is all these lists coming at you. So today we are doing my top 10 Netflix shows, which also I didn't think would be that hard to put together, but it was so hard. I couldn't even think of like shows I watched when I was like sitting down doing this. So I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Anyway, I came up with 10, and I have 2 honorable mentions because they were originally on Netflix and now they are not, so I wasn't going to count any show that Netflix did make and then they dropped, because fuck that Netflix, what the hell. Anyway, let's dive on in to the list. So at number 10 on my Netflix list is Winx, Fate, whatever you want to call it. Fate, the Winx saga or something along those lines, or Winx the Fate saga, I don't know. Anyway, I watched it early this year with my sister and we both really enjoyed it. We loved the cartoon, like the original cartoon, not the most recent one that's on Netflix. That is, I haven't even attempted to watch because, let's be real, it's not going to be as good as the original cartoon. We loved that growing up. In fact, we even had some of it on DVD. Not a lot of it, we just went back. I think it was the first 2 seasons we had on DVD, but do not quote me on that. I have seen heaps of the episodes of the original cartoon, but not enough to know the complete story. I wish it was out there on the internet for me to watch, but it is not. I've looked. I don't know where to find it anymore. It's just a really humble little story, and I feel like this TV show is like the Netflix version of it, like it's just the darker version of it, which I really liked. It was so dumb, but it was so good. It was like that little bit of trash that you just like to dive in to as a girl. Like sometimes you're just like, I need to watch a show that is completely stupid and trashy and dumb and has a teen romance, and that had all of it. And also like a little bit of like mystery in there that you're like, ooh, what's going on here? I am disappointed that my favorite 3 characters were not in it. I think they were meant to take form of this person. I cannot remember her name as a character because it was not Darcy, Stormy, or Icy, which I loved them growing up. I was like, mwah. My aesthetic in 3 Witches. And also, you just love the evil ones, okay? I'm sorry. Problematic opinions here. We always have the problematic opinions on this channel because we just do, okay? Coming in at number 9 is You. That show was fucked up, and it continued to be fucked up. But I'm only going to talk about the first season because I'm not good. The second season was a bunch of cringe, and I don't know how I feel about it still, having watched it. It was like very interesting. Like, having done psychology in high school, I was just like, oh my god, who is this character? And he seems nice, but he's also so messed up at the same time. And I thought the second season was gonna, you know, go back into like his history, like his past, and like how he became the way he is, because clearly something went on with him and the guy that owns the bookstore. Like, you know, you know how there was the underneath cage area that he ended up locking like everybody in. I thought like something similar would have happened to him. I think it was implied that that did happen to him, but I'm just like, but why though? Why did the guy do it? What did he do? Probably nothing, because, you know, he was just a little kid. Anyway, it's very interesting. The second season is just, it's a different type of, like, it's like good and bad at the same time. Like, it is so cringy, and then it's so like, he is not the craziest man on the planet, actually. And he just impregnated the craziest woman. in the planet. Like, oh my god. Love is just really strange. And I remember like talking about this with a friend from work, and I was just like, she's like really weird, but I love the actress. Like, her range is very high tier actress range for characters, because I know she's in like The Haunting of House Hill or something. My friend said I should watch it, but I don't know, I don't do horror very well, you know. If you've watched this channel for long enough, you know I'm very spooked by a lot of things. Having said that, I really do like You because the show, because it is kind of between like not too scary for me. Like, I can do thrillers, which I would consider that's what You is, but like anything where I'm just like can't relate to it, like, that sounds bad, like anything like, you know, vampires, werewolves, anything like mythical or like things that aren't real, and my mind goes, but that's so scary, what if they were real? Like, whereas like I can watch a show like You and be like, oh, that's so messed up. But yeah, as soon as you add a little bit of fantasy or like scary elements like that, like aliens or anything like that, I'm like, nope, can't do it, out, yeet. But things like The Shining and You, I can watch because I'm just like, oh, that's not too bad, because it's kind of like that could potentially happen. Which you would think it would be the other way around, but not in my head. My head's just like, yes, a zombie is gonna eat you. Zombies don't exist, but there I am. At number 8 is The Crown. I really love this. I watched it when the second season hadn't even come out yet, and I really found it very interesting how she, you know, like got the throne. Like, her father died. That sounds bad. But like how she ascended to the throne, is that the right word? I don't know. I found it really interesting, and then I ended up rewatching it with my family. We watched the first season, the second season. How many seasons are there now?
Much later.
We ended up watching all 4 seasons, I'm pretty sure, because we watched up to the most up-to-date one, when they're going to be changing the Queen again, which I don't love. I wish they, like, you know, SFX makeup is a thing, people. I really like Claire Foy as the Queen. I thought she, like, did her perfectly, like, just the accent and the mannerisms. I was like, high tier queen. I didn't mind the others, but I feel like the rest of the characters they got wrong in the casting. Like, I really loved Margaret in the first 2 seasons. I thought they got Margaret like bang on, and then they didn't in the others. And I feel like Margaret's story is so sad, but I just love it as a whole. It's very interesting to me. It made like history, or like learning about the crown during that time, really interesting. And it's really sad, a lot of stories within it, like not just Elizabeth's, but like everyone's had a really hard life. And like, I'm very interested to see how they do like Diana's story, because I love her, I admire her so much. Do you know how sad I am that I never actually lived in a world that she was alive in? She died the year I was born, the month before I was born. Like, and just learning about her and all the things she did, it makes me so sad that I'm just like, I can't believe we lost someone like as amazing as you. And I really hope they do her justice in the show, because she is such, like, I admire her so much. I can't even be in, because I will cry. And her life, her love life is just so sad, because it's just like, damn, you deserve someone who loved you. Number 7 on my list is I'm Not Okay With This, which is actually so good. Oh my goodness, the end of that series left me like freaking speechless, and it was one of those shows that I don't think many people watched, but apparently it's very different to, I think it's a comic. Well, it doesn't matter, it's very different to the written version of it, because I ended up being like, to my friend Claire, you've met her on several videos, I was like, you need to watch it, you need to watch it, you need to watch it, I need to like talk to somebody about this ending because it's killing me. And she ended up reading it and was just like, whoa, this is very different to how how it happened. I was like, I don't know because I haven't read it. I probably should. I have so much to read. Anyway, it's a very interesting story. It's about like, it's kind of like a coming of age, but she has powers that are really interesting. Like, I wouldn't, like, telekinesis, kind of. I haven't seen Carrie by Stephen King, but I assume it's very similar to this. Anyway, throughout she's trying to learn how to control it, and she kind of learns that her dad has the same sort of powers that she had, and I don't want to spoil too much because so much happens in it, and it's really good. Anyway, she writes all this down in a diary. This is not too much of a spoiler because it is a trope that is done again and 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 again throughout this sort of coming of age thing where the diary gets found and all the secrets are revealed. And that end, oof, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, you should probably watch it because it's really good. Also, it's very short, so you can finish it in like a day, like I did. At number 6 on my list is Bridgerton. And I know what you're gonna say, Beck, that's the most problematic thing you could ever pick. And I know, but it's actually quite good. And you know what? The books are very problematic, but also they are a really quick read if you want some quick romance in your life. The book is more problematic than the show, I will say. Like, The Duke and I, ugh, that one's really problematic. Also, To Sir Philip with Love, that's really problematic too. Please do not do Eloise dirty because she deserves a great love story. Please make her gay because it is so obvious her and Benedict are like just bisexual. I hope they don't wuss out in doing that, but it's Netflix, so it could happen. But also, it could be rather straight, so I don't know. Anyway, I had to pick this one on my list because it is, like, apart from the problematic side of things, it's really interesting, and the show makes the book much more interesting. Like, there is characters in the show that just aren't in the books, that should be in the books. And I think the casting is just amazing. Like, Lady Danbury, oh my god, I love her. She's the best. She's the best in the books, and she's the best in the show, and no one can change my mind about that. She is. High tier, love her. The only thing about the show is that it's problematic, which many people know, and I don't want to like dive too deep into that because it's just too much. Like, there's just so much problematicness within it. Also, they did Anthony really dirty. He is a lovely man in the book, and he is an utter trash panda in the show. Or at least he seems very like charismatic in the book, so you don't really like hate him. Like, for example, in the book, Daphne has been out for 2 seasons, I think. 2 or some seasons, and Anthony doesn't want her to marry someone that she doesn't love. And so whoever comes to him with a proposal for her, he like will only be like, yep, like, so long as Daphne says yes, then you can marry her. But if she doesn't, then you can go away. Like, I think that's such a good thing for a brother of that time to do. Like, if my sister doesn't like you, fuck off. She doesn't have to marry you just because you are of the ton. Fuck you. And then they just make him out to be an utter asshole in the show and make her marry Nigel, which didn't happen. The whole punch scene happened, which it's better in the show. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of things in the book that it's just better in the show. One of those things where I would say the show is slightly better because it adds a little bit more layers to everything. Everything kind of like interlocks. And let me just say, you do not find out who Lady Whistledown is until the 4th one. So fuck the Netflix show for doing that shit. I would have just liked to not know. Number 5 in this tag is Shadow and Bone. I really love it. It's so good. Also, the series is so good too. Well, the first book, I absolutely loved the first book. The other 2 were just a bit, nah, they're okay. They're not great. They're no Six of Crows, let me just say that. Anyway, the show did something so cool. It just merged, like, the 2 books, like, not together, but, like, added characters from another book into this one because they're in the same world, so that can only mean that they're making a Six of Crows show. I hope they do, because I feel like they got so many of the characters, like, mwah, perfect. Inej, Nina, they were my favorites. And it'll be interesting to see where they go with everything else. Also, the one annoying thing about the show, which you find out slowly in the books, like the beginning third of the first one, you find out the big secret that is just given away to you in the show, which is that there is multiple of these high tier amplifiers. So there's like the deer, and there's 3 others. I can count. There's 4 in total, and you don't find that out until like the second one. And I'm sorry, the show just gave it away. I was just like, oh, because I was in the midst of reading the book as I was watching the show, which can be bad idea, I know. I made a mistake, but I make lots of those, okay? I'm only human. I make them all the time. But yeah, I really like all the characters, and like season 1 ended pretty dramatically. I mean, it won't be a shock watching the others, because I have read the books now. But it's gonna be interesting. It's a wild ride. I wonder if they'll end it the same, or make it a bit saucier. It'll be interesting to see if they have the crows in it, like the other 2 seasons. I assume they're doing 2 other seasons, because that would only make sense. But yeah, it will be interesting if they add the crow's story into it, like as a different layer. But I would also like them not to do that, because the next bits in the story I feel like are really important to the story. So I would like them to go off and make a 6 of Crows show, please and thank you. I also need to read Crooked Kingdom, okay? I have failed in life a little bit because I haven't read the book. I'm too scared to. I don't want my characters to die. It's just gonna leave me brokenhearted. I don't need that right now. Number 4 in this tag is Atypical, which I love. I am in the midst of watching the last season, which I'm low-key sad about, but I'm also not at the same time, because I feel like all shows need to come to an end at certain points, you know, just like all movie franchises need to come to an end, have a nice neat bow on it to have it finished, because like it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, we've made too many of these and it's just bad now. You know, there's a lot of examples out there which I will not name because that would be mean. But I really love this show because it shows, like, you know, a family, but it's like not like a high functioning normal one, which I can relate to because, you know, I have several people like Sam in my life, because I don't want to delve too deep into my own personal life, but there's a lot of characters in the show that I relate to, and I have seen, you know, in my like my widespread family. So it was just nice seeing, you know, my family in a show. And fuck Elsa, I hate her. Number 3 is Sweet Tooth. This, my favorite thing ever. I started watching it with like not too much of high expectations, because I was just like, this looks pretty weird and I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. But it was dystopian, so I was just like, let me dive right in there and see what happens. And my god, so good. I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be really bad. Just because it's like, you know, it's just another Netflix show, and it's just like, this could go either way, who knows? Like, there's animal babies, which I think put a lot of people off, the animal babies, because of certain, you know, things. Anyway, but that, in spite of that, there's so many good characters in this show. Also, it's one of the shows that does Becky good. Like, my name, our name, the Becky name has been dragged through the frickin' mud, I feel like. And now I have a character that is not an asshole, and I love it. They are amazing. High tier character. And it's just so cool, like the way the whole story interlocks, because you follow a lot of different characters, like kind of some achieving bad goals, some achieving good goals, but I think there's like the three main storylines, and the way they interlock and the way they work together is just so interesting to me. And the whole season ended on such a cliffhanger. There's so many questions unanswered, which is kind of like the perfect ending, but also it is very annoying at the same time, because it's like, where is season 2? Thank you very much. I'd like to know more about everything. Don't know if it's getting a season 2 yet. I hope it does, because it's very interesting, like most post-apocalyptic movies are. But yes, it's very good. Don't let the animal babies throw you off. It's an amazing story. Also, it's a comic book, so you should read that. Apparently it's very different to the show, though. So I have been told. So, who knows? At number 2 is Sex Education. I love this series so much. Like, it's very relatable on a lot of levels, which is why it's on the list. I ended up watching it by myself first, and then my sister was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "I'm watching Sex Education." And she was like, "What?" She's like, "Tell me more before I become concerned for you." And then I was just like, "No, it's about this." And we ended up rewatching parts of it, and it's just really cool. I mean, what he's doing is not ethical at all, like using his mum's sort of like psychology on those students. That's not right. But you know, as if kids want to talk to parents about what they're going through. Like, puberty kind of sucks a lot, not gonna lie. And it's just it's kind of like, it's fun, it's like serious, and when you put those two things together, it's like, it's really cool. I like it. And like, the next season comes out this year in September. Early birthday present for me. And I'm very keen to watch it and see what happens. I think when I knew I loved it was that whole bus scene when the girls came together for their friend. I was just like, I think I'm gonna cry because it's so sad why she can't catch the bus, but her friends are there for her. And it's like I said, it's like in moments it is like fun and funny, but then they take on like very serious issues like that, and it's just nice to have that in a show, because some shows would not be, you know, as confident in taking on those serious issues. And at number 1 on my Netflix top tier list is The Umbrella Academy, for obvious reasons. One being that it makes me dead inside because of how much I love it. Season 1, mwah, perfection. Season 2, even freaking better. They both do this fantastic thing where my favorite character almost died. Once in season 1, and once in season 2. Oh my god, I thought they were dead. I thought there was no bringing them back, but apparently I was wrong. Which I'm like so thankful for, because if she died, I'd die. It's just a really fun and quirky series, and so many weird and wonderful things happen in it that it just could not be number 1. Also, it's just it's so cool. I want to read the comics so bad. And now for my 2 honorable mentions. I decided to go with One Day at a Time and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They were just really fun and serious shows at the same time. A little bit like Sex Education. Like, I love a little bit of funny and a little bit of serious mixed in there. Doesn't make me feel too sad about things, because it's like, there's happy things and there's sad things in life, and that's just how life works. And I'm really kind of shocked that Netflix was just like, nah, gotta get rid of them. So that's why they are my honorable mentions. I really want to watch the most recent season of One Day at a Time, because the last season on Netflix was just a cliffhanger, and I don't know why they got rid of it. I was just like, so sad. I tweeted about it. I was super sad that they had decided not to make another season, because like, it just didn't make any sense. Also, I feel like I was part of it being brought back, being like, you know, I did my part, so if it didn't get brought back, I would feel bad for not writing anything. Is kind of, the vibe, but I wrote something and I was just like, please don't take away. Don't take it away. I need it. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Let me know down in the comments your favorite Netflix TV shows made by Netflix. It is very hard to find them, because some TV shows are just on there, just on Netflix, and they're not Netflix created, obviously. That sounds really dumb. Anyway, better end the video here.